Hello everyone, my name is Molly, and today we are here to talk about Teen Wolf Season 6, Episode 12. So, Episode 12 aired last night, and you know me, I love Teen Wolf, so I was very excited. This episode kind of had a fillery feeling, because I think all these episodes do just because we don't know what this villain is, so we don't know what we're fighting. We don't know what we're expecting, so we're not really fighting anything big, and so it's just kind of filled with like little storylines. But it wasn't a bad episode by any means. I think JR, Bourne, and Holland Roden did amazing this episode. They were so good, their acting was just amazing, and so I just wanted to give them like a special kudos in this. Just make sure when you watch it you're really like looking out for them, because they just did such a good job in this episode. I feel like JR really took on Argent, and he felt like Argent, and then Holland just did such a good job as Lydia, and just all her reactions and her emotions, they were really good. If you guys haven't watched the episode, go watch it now and then come back and we can discuss. But if you haven't seen the episode, I'm going to ask you to leave because I don't want to spoil anything, so make sure to come back once you watch the episode. That's it for you non-spoilery people, so goodbye! Okay, so the show opens up and we see a bunch of scenes of Theo. And Theo is sleeping in his car and he's constantly being woken up and thrown out by the police. My heart, those scenes killed me because I love Theo. He's a douchebag and he's evil, but like I love him so much. And so like the fact that he doesn't have a pack and he doesn't have any friends, like I don't understand why Scott hasn't stayed in touch with him. He helped them defeat the Ghost Riders. Like what? And what about Liam? Like what? This is a 2-year time jump. So like why the hell has he been sitting in his car for 2 years? Like nobody helped him? I was just, my heart, it was broken. It was broken. And then this freaking spider, of course they have to be spiders, crawls into Theo, like goes into his skin, and then Theo goes to Deaton's just randomly and stabs himself in the back to get the spider out. That was nasty. And then he pulls out his phone and Scott's name is on there and he's like debating about pressing call, and I was like, please just call him. Please, he will help you. I was just, Theo. Before he can decide to call Scott, his car gets shot up by a bunch of hunters and he might be dead. We don't know. We don't know what happened to him. What? Where is he? Is he okay? If he's dead, that was a very pathetic death, and I don't like that they left us so unsure of him being dead, so he better still be alive. I think he is, because we've seen more scenes of him in the trailer, so like, I think he's still alive, but I got really scared. This is something I forgot to talk about last week. Dylan O'Brien is not in the opening credits anymore? What the fuck? Excuse you? I don't care if he's not contracted to be in the episodes. He appears in some of them. You could have just used the opening from 6A. Like, that's all you had to do. You just had to replace the opening. I was so freaking mad because he's still in the episode, and even if he's not, he's still a part of the Teen Wolf family, and the fact that in the last 10 episodes he's not even in the intro pisses me off. Scott, Malia, and Lydia are in the woods, and Scott is having flashbacks to season 1, where he is being chased by Argent and the hunters. I had this whole idea for when he was being chased by this, because Derek ends up saving him in season 1, so I had this whole idea that that's when Derek was going to come back and he was going to save him and it was going to be a great parallel, but they decided not to do that. Jeff Davis should call me for ideas. But anyway, so, you know, he's flashing back to season 1. He thinks all these hunters are surrounding him, and it turns out it's the Beacon Hill Sheriff Department, I guess checking up on the hellhound that was killed. He still thinks it's hunters, so he goes all alpha and he attacks Sheriff Stilinski, who we got to see this episode, and I was really excited because I love him. So he attacks Sheriff Stilinski, and like all these other deputies are just standing around. The kid just turned into a werewolf. Stilinski's like, everybody get back, everybody stay away, and then they're like, what's wrong with his face? And Parrish gets all up and he's like, you heard the man, stay back! And I was like, I love you, Parrish. But I really don't understand that scene and where it came from. But again, we're going back to this fear monster who is conjuring up things that make people scared. That's my theory that I'm sticking to. If you want to hear more about that theory, I went on a whole thing about it last episode talk, so that'll be linked down below if you want to watch that. Mason is in the locker room talking to Liam about Brett, and I thought it was really funny. He's like, he has an 8-pack. what an 8-pack, and like I was kind of mad because I was like, dude, you have Corey, stop fantasizing about Brett, but like at the same time it was really funny. And then he was like, nobody's gonna make first line unless you're a werewolf, like da 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 da. And then Liam's like, no, they will. And then Mason is like, yeah, you're gonna make first line. It was a really funny scene. I love Mason, he's so funny. So that kid in the locker room that they told would make first line, he gets eaten by spiders. Awesome. This episode we got a lot of Marish. There was a lot of Parrish and Lydia, which was weird because I thought we didn't have to worry about Marish anymore because Stydia's canon. I do have to admit that was a really cute scene when Parrish was like, you're not going into Aiken House, like I'm not letting you, it's not happening. And Lydia's like, yes it is, and he's like, no it's not. Like, I feel like they could be a good team and they could be good brother-sister relationship, you know what I'm saying? But I do not ship them. Scott and Malia are being detective partners and they go to the bunker to try and find Argent, and he ends up leaving his computer behind. It's password locked, and so Malia goes over and she's like, guns. Lots of guns. Hunter. And then Scott pulls up a bow and he was like, I think I know what his password is. And then he punches in Allison and it works. And I was like, why is this even a thought process? It's always Allison. Allison is always the key password, and it's Argent's computer. Like, why would it be his dead daughter's name? Why did it take a bow for you to figure that out? Like, that should have been your first guess. So Parrish goes to Aiken House with this creepy dude who let out the Hellhound, and they open gates and they're letting people in and stuff, and I was like, why? Why are we doing this? This never ends well. Why? During the lacrosse scenes, Liam loses control again, which, dude, get your crap together. But Corey makes another joke about being invisible, and just, these past 2 episodes, he's made so many invisible jokes, and it just makes me laugh every time. That scene, when Argent is selling those guns, and then Scott and Malia show up and screw everything up, but then it's like this badass fight scene, oh my god. It was amazing. It was just so badass, and I loved it so much. Just so much. So this creepy guy in Aiken House that's showing Parrish around wants to kill everything supernatural because he's scared. He's also the one who let out that Hellhound. So, what? You want to kill every supernatural thing, but you still work at Aiken House. Everything in there is still alive, and you let out a Hellhound. It didn't add up to me. So, creepy guidance counselor lady, who was creepy all episode long, shows up in the parking lot, attacks Brett, throws him this ball, and she's like, I'm sorry, I should have told you, it's Wolfsbane. And like, she delivered it so weird. Obviously it's Wolfsbane, he's dying on the ground right now, and just the way she said it, I was making fun of it for like 20 minutes after. Kid that got eaten by spiders. Liam and, I think it was Mason and Corey, all 3 of them, found his body skinned alive in the locker room. But then, as they're trying to figure out who it is, they go into a classroom, and that kid's sitting there. You were eaten by spiders 5 minutes ago. What happened? What? Who are you? Honestly, I think, like the Oni and the Nogitsune had those fireflies, I think that the fear monster, who doesn't have a name yet, has spiders, and every time the spiders are around, and every time they eat somebody, that fear monster can take on that physical form. So maybe it's not technically inside of them like I thought it was. Maybe it has to eat you first. That begs the question, why did the Hellhound think it was in Liam? Has Liam been eaten by spiders recently? That's how the fear monster becomes a physical form. He has his little spider minions eat you, and then he takes on your skin. Or maybe he, like, has the spider monsters kill you, and then he skins you and wears the skin, which would be nasty, but Teen Wolf is dark, so I wouldn't be surprised. When Lydia goes back to Aiken House, all I wanted was for Silas to be with her. Like, that's literally all I wanted. Not for ship action, just because I feel like she really needed that support and that encouragement of him being like, you're a banshee, you're a badass, you can do this, you can get through it, and him protecting her, and like, you know, that's all I wanted. I just wanted him to be there. Lydia's freaking out when she's in Aiken House because she's having flashbacks to when she was trapped there before, and eventually she gets through it and she turns into a badass. But the way she saves Parrish was exactly like the way she saved Styles when they became canon. I was like, no, that's Stydia's scene. I understand and that's how she saves people. She does the scream and she runs in. I can see the chemistry between Scott and Malia. I can see it starting when they were in the woods and like he smiled and then she smiled. Scott's smile is so cute. He's such like a little puppy. It's so adorable. The guidance counselor lady's getting attacked by Brett, and then Gerard shows up and he shoots Brett and Brett runs off. Of course it's frickin' Gerard. Why is he not dead yet? He should have been killed in season 2. When he wasn't killed, he should have been killed later on. Did we think it was a good idea to let this crazy old man roam around Beacon Hills again? Why isn't Argent watching him? Why doesn't he have a babysitter? But did we think it was going to be anybody else other than Argent? I hope when we find out what happened that everybody's just like, oh, Argent. Like, it's not an issue. It's not figuring out who it's going to be. It's Argent. We got the promo for next week. Poor little Brett's running through the woods with an arrow through his chest. I really hope he survives this episode. We have Gerard, who's making an army of hunters to hunt all the supernatural. Do we think Gerard is working with the Fear Monster? Do we think he's separate? Or do we think in the end, Gerard and his army of misfit hunters will end up helping the gang with this Fear Monster? I'm not sure. I have no idea what's going to happen. But I wouldn't put it past Gerard to work with the Fear Monster. Does anybody remember the Kanama? Those were my thoughts on the episode. Let me know what you guys thought. Make sure to subscribe if you like Teen Wolf, because I try to put out Teen Wolf content every week. That's about it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I try to upload a video every week. If you like my videos, then subscribe, and I'll see you next time.